What's up, everybody? It's Keefe from Ghost Cult Magazine, ghostcultmag.com, and I'm here with the one and only longest running keyboard player and vocalist of Cradle of Filth and her solo career, Lindsay Schoolcraft. How are you?
I'm really good. How are you?
I am great. Welcome back to New York City. Welcome to Irving Plaza.
Thank you.
Big show tonight, Cradle of Filth, Wednesday 13, Raven Black. You guys have been out on the road as tours. Got a little bit of life left in it, a few more weeks. Really exciting run of dates. How's the tour going for you so far?
It's been really good. Thank you. This has been one of the most chill, easygoing, flowing well American tours we've had as this lineup yet. We were having a great time.
Great. I'd love to hear that. I can get challenging, as I alluded to with my pun, I think it was actually a post on your Instagram recently about how long you've been in the band. I'm not sure if it was quite an anniversary, but it's 6 or 7 years.
6 years.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's actually a feat if you've been following the band their whole career. So congrats. But also,
Thank you.
there are challenges with any relationship. A band is a relationship, and you go on the road and you spend every waking minute with people. So, it's a good place to start. Like, it's important to have a really good band dynamic, and it has been a group that has now been together for quite a while.
Yes, yeah, this lineup's 5 years now, and we say it, but we're like a second family. We have our immediate families at home, and then as a band, like it's another marriage, I guess. I mean, I call them all my big brothers, even though I'm technically older than our bassist by 3 months, but that doesn't matter. They're still they're big brothers to me. And we do like any family, we bicker and we moan and but we always work through it because we got to make this work. We care about the greater good of the project. So
right, the greater good, that's valuable, and is actually probably the thing that separates bands that don't make it from the bands that do, right? Understanding the big picture.
Absolutely. And Cradle's such a machine now that it has to keep pushing forward. There's nothing you can do, man. You got to make it work. So
indeed. And there's just inherent challenges in general with touring that I think you're very well positioned to discuss. I wanted to ask you, you just recently, not just the band traversing North America and the whole world, really, your personal solo tour. You did a DJ and solo gigs to start the year in Australia and Europe. So, what are some of those challenges? It's got to be harder than ever almost to get into America between visas and passports and things.
Yeah, it was really scary. We almost didn't make it this time again. Third time, well, technically fourth. 2013 got canceled. That was horrible. It's a challenge. It's a lot of work. I don't think people understand the paperwork that goes, the time and paperwork and effort and planning that goes into a tour. It's intense. Like, you got to do it months and months in advance,
Brainstorm, we almost need an independent company or organization of lawyers to full-time work on visas for international touring bands.
We do.
Would almost make sense.
Yeah, we do. We actually have like a whole team in place. We got people hired, and they do extra work for us, and it's intense. There's only so much you can do by yourself, and then you got to get other people on board, or else you're just not going to sleep, and you may mess up the paperwork. You got to get professionals involved. It's a big production. It really is.
Indeed, and it's crucial. Again, bands. I don't think bands that only tour regionally or locally can't appreciate the pressure and the difficulty to actually pull off an international tour.
They want to know, but they don't know. You know what I mean? And I'd like to I try to explain things to people back at home when I go home and I see some of my local friends and bands, and I try to explain it to them. They're like, what? Like, I'm still struggling to get everybody to show up to band practice on the weekend. And I'm like, yo, that doesn't happen in my world.
Right. And not only we talk about logistic problems and things like that. Obviously, Cradle is not a band of alternative rock kids staring at their shoes. A Cradle show is a big production.
Yeah.
It's not just an actual demanding show musically as a musician, but also physically you're performing. So, what do you have to do to kind of take care of yourself to be able to pull off these challenging shows every night?
Well, lots of sleep, especially as a singer. I don't drink anymore. I found that when I would drink, my mid-range would just fry out so quickly. Another thing is on my days off, I don't really do a lot of talking. I just quietly read or watch movies or answer emails. I'm very chill on my days off. I mean, I'll call my partner for 30 minutes to catch up, and then it's like, okay, that's it. but yeah, just self-care is so important. Even taking alone time, taking care of yourself on a day off, spa day. I call it spa day, but I don't pay no money for that. Take care of myself. I give myself a spa day in the hotel room. Hey, just throw some Epsom salts in the bath, pretend you're in Hawaii is how it goes. But yeah, it's very important, and you have to, and it's tough because there's so many people at the end of the day. Every day it's like 20 people I thought of back at home or like in my circle that I want to get a hold of, but I just didn't. And people understand. I'm in a place where my circle is so tight that they understand that I can't always be in touch, but they know I love them and I care about them.
Cool. It's important to kind of switch certain things off when you're in tour mode. I know that it can be very intense, so I'm glad to hear you're taking good care of yourself on a day off. A lot of bath bombs and face masks, I'm guessing, too.
Oh, yeah. Some of the crew members join me on the face masks sometime. I've posted photos. It's really funny.
Don't wimp out, guys. A face mask is good for you. It's good for your skin.
Get a glow.
You feel good. You get a little glow going on. Yeah. It's really good for you. Sephora. I'm going to plug Sephora. Very good. Inexpensive. I get a very mixed skin here, so I don't want breakouts. Sephora, go get your face mask. $3-4. You got to have your skincare on point when it comes to rock and metal. You have to. So, and we've been fans for a long time, admirers of your solo work as well as your time here in Cradle. Cheers to you too. And so I wanted to kind of talk about just musicianship. So, it's we actually got to hear a little bit of you sound checking vocally earlier, and also your playing. So, do you have? Obviously, you tour so much, but do you have to, sort of practice on your days off or on your downtime to keep your chops up? Or are you touring so much on this album cycle that you don't need to?
Oh, no, definitely not. Being a singer, I'm very lucky. I have a really good audible memory. I've done so much training that my control's pretty okay unless I get tired. But on this tour, we are learning and finishing up the final details of Cruelty and the Beast. This is the first time I've learned music well on tour, and damn, I am tired. At the end of the day, like, people are like, Lindsay, question. I'm like, potato? Like, I blank out because I'm so tired at the end of these days, but it's worth it. That Cruelty tour is going to be so cool. So yeah, I mean, it's nice and it's something challenging to work on. But as far as musicianship goes, interesting story. I have a little travel harp made because when I tour, I don't get to bring my harps with me and I lose my ability. I'm still playing piano, I'm still singing. So I got this beautiful little travel harp made. I left it at home for this tour because I knew I needed to focus on, we're writing on this tour, we're writing for the new album, and we're learning Cruelty and the Beast. I mean, that's enough. Why would I bring a harp and then it just be in my bunk collecting dust like my harps do at home? So I got a friend who's a seamstress make me like this amazing flight bag for it so I can like carry it around, and I'm going to have it with me for the rest of the year, and I'm going to work on my harp chops on tour. So, I mean, that's the thing, and it's, if you really want something in life, you will find a way to make it work, and touring is a whole other beast. Like, I never thought I would do this for a career. I knew I'd be a musician, but I thought I'd probably end up just being a vocal teacher, which I do anyways. I do for friends. Believe it or not, a lot of my students are guttural singers who want to learn how to sing clean. And I'm happy to do it. I'm happy to help people out. I love teaching. It doesn't feel like a job. But yeah, it's I've been doing this for 6 years now. I think I'm pretty good at it. So that's where I'm like, travel harp. That needs to happen.
That sounds awesome. And I would imagine you wouldn't want to check something like that on the plane. You have to bring it on with you.
Exactly. It's not necessarily fragile, but it's special.
Right, you wouldn't want it lost or anything happening to it.
Oh God, yeah.
Lindsay Schoolcraft, the inverse Melissa Cross, will link you in the details on YouTube.
Cheers.
So yeah, that's awesome. Thanks for sharing that. Just out of curiosity. And then I was wondering if you need a certain amount. Obviously, you sound checked earlier. You'll makeup, clothing, stage clothes. Will you need a certain amount of vocal warm-up time before you hit the actual stage later?
Yeah, I mean, I did some of the basic stuff in all three ranges. So I have a high range, mid range, and a low range. So I just did like a basic warm-up. It takes like less than 5 minutes to do it. And then later I will do like the really intense classical stuff to kind of get me to where I want to be.
Killer.
Yeah.
Any particular favorite passage or song that you like, or just typical vocalists?
I was singing Lost in Paradise from Evanescence today, just because it's a really beautiful song, and the reverb in the bathroom was good. So I was like, yo, let's sing this tune. It's the first one that came to mind. So I was like, okay, I'm a big Evanescence fan. I really think Amy Lee's a wonderful songwriter and singer. So those songs, just that and the Birthday Massacre, those songs really get stuck in my head, and I warm up to them quite a bit.
Nice. It's actually, yeah, it sounds like a very comparable range for you. Amy's great. We're fans also. So
Yeah.
terrific. I definitely also, I'm really stoked about the Cruelty tour. That's going to be wonderful. In the time you've been in the band, obviously you're touring behind a relatively new album, also a year old. Has there been any Cradle song you particularly wanted to take on that you haven't had a chance to yet that you'd like to?
Well,
hey Danny, can we get this in the set maybe?
The two that I've always wanted was The Death of Love, which we've done, and then Saffron's Curse, which we're playing live now.
Nice.
Did it during soundcheck, and I love that. I love Midian. Midian's one of my favorite Cradle of Filth albums. But I still want to try. I don't know. There's probably a few. Like, I'm just being like selfish and biased, but like I'd love to do that Stay With Me cover. I don't know if that would I don't know, that'd be interesting. But Suicide and Other Comforts. What are some other ones that are just like, man, there's a few, like Honey and Sulphur is my favorite Cradle song when we play that live. So when I first joined, it was like when Honey and Sulphur was on the set list, I was like, oh, this is great. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of at the point where I'm like, whatever comes up, I'll do it.
Nice. That's a great attitude, especially when you join a band that kind of has a legacy. And again, you have had to follow some big shoes, but now you have kind of set the bar, having been in the band this long. And I think it's a real tribute to you that you've been able to stay in this long and been loved by the fans. I think they look forward to you bring a lot. You brought a lot to the last album. I think you bring a lot to the show.
Thanks.
Has there been any particular older Cradle song that's been a challenge for you to perform or pull off?
Anything from Cruelty. Those keyboard parts are crazy. Lecter's crazy. There's some stuff that Martin Powell wrote that I can't keep up on. I tried. Yeah, it's challenging. I mean, when I joined Cradle of Filth, I only had my grade 6 conservatory. Like, little kids have that, okay? I'm not like an incredible pianist. I love playing piano. I love grand pianos. Like, I think it's a beautiful instrument. I write at a very like pop level, like a spooky pop level, I'd like to think, with my piano playing. But the talent that has been in Cradle, like the classical background and what, like some of it, man, I'm like, I go to Martin, I'm like, sorry, man, like, I can't do this live. I'm just going to stick to the easy string part in the background. Can you throw this melody on, like, the playback? And he's like, yeah, man, cool. Like, don't worry about it. Just as long as you got your vocal parts down. I'm like, dude, have I ever let you down? So like, it's that's fine. I love the piano, but my focus has definitely been more on the harp recently. But yeah, I just learned, honestly, I don't even know what happened. Like, I learned piano just to become a better singer, and that's what led me to this. So I'm grateful that I took the risk and the chance and the challenge, and here we are.
Awesome. I'm grateful you took the risk. I think that's great. I definitely want to take the opportunity to ask about, I know you're in process on a new solo release, and I wanted to ask whatever you can share about it. I know it's not ready yet, but how's that going?
Well, it's actually done. It's been done for a while now. I'm very happy with the mix and the mastering. My homeboy, Tyler Williams from Oshawa, it's like Monolithic Productions. He produced it. I'm so proud of him. I've spoken to a few people in the industry, and they're like, they've heard it, and they're like, how much did you spend on that? And I'm like, a quarter of what you think I spent on it, because he's new and upcoming, and he believes in me, and he knows I'm broke. So, but he is worth more than I paid him. But he's great. And I'm still keeping it a secret on who I wrote it with, but I will be exposing that this summer, mid-July. Mid-July, you guys are going to find out who I wrote my album with. I'm proud of it. Going back, I wish I wrote heavier songs. There's a lot of new metal influence in it. There's quite a few heavy songs, but when I looked at it overall, I'm like, man, this is more chill goth rock, and I'm okay with that, because that's who I am at the end of the day. Those sappy, sad stories. It's what I do. But I'm really proud of it. Like, I have a cover on it that like the band I covered, like huge band approved of and liked. I was like, wow, that's a huge accomplishment for me. I never thought I'd see that. Like, we literally went into that not expecting it to happen, but here we are. Right now I'm getting the merch done and then the booklet and everything's like flowing forward, and it's exciting. I'm going to be releasing it independently. I have a team hired underneath me now, because I think it's like the death of the record label these days. I mean, Martin and I our drummer, and we're homies, and I let him hear it, and he's like, man, I can't believe a label didn't pick you up. I've been shopping it for 4 months and nobody wants to put it out. And I'm like, you know what? Fine. Peace. I'm going to do this myself. And I am. And I'm really excited because that means, I mean, and this is just a business thing. I hope I'm not getting too boring, but the money comes back to me and then I can put it into my next album. Do you know what I mean? I can make, and I've already started writing my next album and the same person's on board, and the next album will be heavier because everything we've done, everything we have ready for it so far is like all heavy guitar riffs. And I'm like, oh, thank God it's not going to be this chill goth rock album again. So
Nice.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I think this is the age of the independent artist, especially in rock and metal, like it never has been before. So
and we're tired.
Yeah, people are tired, man. You want to keep that money and reinvest it in yourself. And so I think that's really great. And, your fans, you have a nice little fan base. I think they'll support you no matter what. So,
they're so cool.
And we'll certainly be looking out for that record.
Cool.
I'm very excited to hear about it. As we wind down, I just wanted to also take an opportunity to talk to you. I think you are awesome and
so
really
sweet.
terrific at social media. I am sweet, but you are awesome, particularly in social media. I am, and I'm also very humble, as everybody knows, here at Ghost Cult HQ. But I love what you do with YouTube and Instagram. You're really plugged into your fans. I love all the covers and the tributes and things. And it seems to come very natural to you, which I think is great.
Thank you. And the thing is like recently, a lot of people have been like, man, you do so much social media. Like you're on there 2 hours a day. Why don't you hire someone to do it? I'm like, you know what? Because nobody's going to do social media as good as I do it. And it's coming right from me. And, I just hit 7K on Twitter, which is like a big deal for me. But honestly, I love Twitter because, again, I'm only texting, so I'm saving my voice. But it's like I get to hang out and chat with like 7,000 of my friends about everything, and I love that. And I like that. I mean, I think it's the era of we need to be connected to our fans because some people don't feel they need to do it. And I'm like, if you just talk to your fans, they would inspire you. They would motivate you. Sometimes you're just having a bad day and then you get this really sweet message from a fan and it's like, man, I got to keep going. I'm not giving up yet, And I love that. So it's fun. But a part of me is also like, I'm a crotchety old woman on the inside. Okay. And like this whole new era of like Instagram aesthetics where you have to look perfect all the time and you have to like have this aesthetically pleasing gothic home and wardrobe. I'm not about that. I'm traveling with one dress right now. Okay. Minimalism for life. And I think social media should be very real. And I'm using it as a tool to be real and positive and do good in the world. So yeah, there will be feeds with no makeup. I will be real with you. I'll tell you about how my cat just destroyed my favorite mug. Like I will not sugarcoat things. And I want to hopefully give way to people who feel that pressure to not feel that pressure, that being genuine is actually way cooler than being this aesthetically pleasing persona, which is exhausting. I did it once and I'm like, I give up.
Well, I think that authenticity and that goodness comes through, and I appreciate it. And I really appreciate, as a cat person, I really appreciate all the Bruce Wayne cat pictures on your Instagram. Shout out to Bruce Wayne. Almost needs his own Instagram, maybe, but
he does. He's kind of an asshole.
Oh,
but
well,
like
cats.
Oh man, the funniest thing happened. I went home for 12 hours, right? And an hour before I was about to leave, we were sitting on the couch and this guy, okay, so I think he's part Maine Coon because he's a big cat. And he comes over and he just like sits next to me. He's like, my cat did that to me. And my roommate was with me. He's like, whoa, you pissed him off. And I'm like, I've been with him all day, And he's like, yeah, but he's got catitude, man. I think he does need his own Instagram because the things that he does, oh man. But yeah, his name used to be Whiskey. And I got him and I was like, I'm going to call you Wayne. And then my whole household and my partner, they ganged up on me like, no, he's a Bruce. He actually looks more like a Commissioner Gordon. But I'm like, okay, he's the Bat Cat. So yeah, Bruce stuck. Bruce Wayne, or Brucifer Waning Moon, as we like to call him in the black metal world.
Nice, so, Brucifer Waning Moon.
I love him. He's a rescue. He was going to be put in a shelter. So I'm glad he has a home now, even if I'm not there and he's mad at me.
Oh, well, that's cats in general. We are a nuisance to them. They love us out of convenience, not because they love us. But
no, they just want food.
They just want food and attention, and then that's enough.
And then go away.
And then go away now. That's enough. Thank you. Lindsay Schoolcraft, it has been awesome catching up with you about Cradle and your solo career and Brucifer the cat and anything else. I'm so stoked that we got to chat with you today.
Oh, it was a lovely chat.
It was really lovely meeting you and talking with you. I am Keefe from Ghost Cult Magazine. We're ghostcultmag.com, and we're out.